Hello, it's your boy Casper, the landlord. It's been a heck of a day. Met with the city over at my 24 units to discuss the drainage issue where the trees were being cut down. I'll go into greater detail with that. After I get a little bit more information, I can walk you through what that process was or is and what the ultimate end result is. So, and we'll talk about the importance of having a good relationship with city management, whether it's the mayor, public works, the police department, fire department. All of those relationships are beneficial when you're in this business. Code enforcement, all right? So all of that has to be managed, and I'll walk you through that. But I'm out here at my 80 units, getting ready to do a walkthrough of a unit where a tenant didn't pay his rent. So we posted our notice of eviction, and he had a family member bring us the keys. He's already moved out of state or something. Sent one of the maintenance guys down, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, right around the first of the month, once we got the keys, to just do a quick walkthrough. But as soon as he walked in, he said there was fleas. So we just made note that there's fleas. And then we got pest control out here to treat it for fleas, and we haven't been in it yet. So the flea treatment was last week. We got the all clear. And so I'm getting ready to go in there because my maintenance guy said it's pretty bad. But more importantly, we videotape every unit. When somebody moves out of a unit, okay, we videotape every unit. And this way, the tape doesn't lie. So from the time I get to the door, when I walk up to the door, I will say what the date is, what unit I'm in, and if I can remember the tenant's name, then I'll say their name on the tape. And then I get the video starts recording. I get the door with the address on it, and then I walk through the unit. Hopefully, in most cases, we try to make sure that the lights are on, but sometimes the lights haven't been cut on yet, but we're just trying to get it documented so we can get it turned. And this way, when we send them to collections, then we've got a video record of exactly what was going on, what they left in the apartment. But also by state law, you have to give a disposition on their deposit. So if you deduct anything from the deposit, either it has to be stated in your lease, like we have a standard $250 cleaning fee. When you moved in, the apartment was clean. We've got to clean it when you leave. And most tenants will say, well, I left it clean. Well, clean is subjective, right? So we get a cleaning team in here. They go through, they sanitize everything properly, clean everything. So when the next tenant moves in, everything is cleaned, bleached properly. So we have a $250 cleaning fee in our lease. And then we have a $50 rekey fee. We rekey every lock every time somebody moves out. No ifs, ands, or buts. You don't know, even if they turn in the keys, you don't know if they made a copy of the key, if they gave a key to their ex-boyfriend or their kids still have keys. You don't know how many keys are floating out there. We have gotten to the point now where there's a lock that you can buy that you can rekey that actual cylinder without taking the cylinder out and having to take it to a locksmith or having a locksmith come in to rekey the cylinder. So we put all of those locks on our doors, and it takes 5 to 10 minutes to rekey a door at this point, but we still rekey every door, and we charge a $50 rekey in our lease. So those two costs are in our lease. So then when we walk through the apartment, we record the holes in the walls, trash that they left, whatever the case may be. And then we deduct the labor and materials to repair it or to clean it out and what have you. And then within 30 days, we send a letter to their forwarding address if we have it, or to their email at a minimum, to say what their charges was, how much their deposit is going to be refunded, if there is a refund, or how much their balance is and how they want to handle the balance. But that's our process. I recommend that you have a process because remember, this is a business. And if you continue to eat those costs of clean when somebody moves out or rekeying, changing the locks on the door, that adds up. And trust me, I know because I just looked at since 2024. I looked at the collection docket. We've got a company that handles collections, and $304,000 is what the current balance is as far as the amount of tenants that I've had since 2023, 2024 who have moved out in OA balance, which I've gotten better over on handling delinquent accounts, letting people carry balances over for a long time. We've got tenants who they'll carry a balance every month, but they'll get it caught up, paid. And I'm always working with people, but there comes a time where now if you're carrying a balance over from, let's say, June to July, if you're carrying $300 over, well, you don't have all of July to get that $300 paid. You owe July's rent and that $300 by the 15th of the month, or we're going to file eviction. Whereas in years past, I would just let people continue to make payment plans because they were paying and we were collecting the money, and they would get the balance, within $100, $200, and they carried over. And look, times are hard, costs are up, so I get it. But that bad decision making on my part, hopefully you don't make that decision. So now I've tightened up on collections, and moving forward, anybody who's carrying a balance over to that next month, we deal with it quickly and move towards eviction, because what I've also learned is if they carrying a balance and they're carrying it for too many months, eventually that balance is going to grow and you're really going to get left holding the bag. And case in point, I have $304,000 of uncollected rent over a 3.5 year period. So don't make that mistake. But I'll walk you through this apartment, show you what we got and how I document everything, and also let you see how people are living or not living in this business, because trust me, you see some crazy stuff in this business. Hold tight. Okay, so now that we're in the apartment, I'm gonna just walk you through. I'll actually narrate it as I narrated it for my assistant, who is gonna watch the video and write up all of the charges so that we can account for their deposit and what will be sent to them for a balance owed, and eventually I'm sure it'll end up on collections. But when I walk in, I actually moved this couch out the way so that I could see if there was any holes or anything behind it, because you want to document that. Of course, I pan around the living room to get all of this. All right, now they weren't supposed to have any pets, so the fact that there was a dog cage here and we had to treat the apartment for fleas, so then we just retroactively add on all of the pet fees and the fee in their lease for having an unauthorized pet, because that's in the lease. Up there you've got spider webs. The blinds are missing, so they get charged for the blinds. And then all of this trash removal is above and beyond their cleaning. There was an actual piece of paper covering this hole, so when we took that paper down, of course we found the hole, so that gets documented as well. So all of the drywall work, repairs, everything gets documented as you see it. Into the kitchen, one of my guys did a cardinal sin, which was he came in here and he opened the refrigerator before the electric was on. That's a bad idea, right? It's going to smell bad if there's food in there, and you're probably going to puke depending on the smell. So just don't open a refrigerator until the electric is on. Anyways, but the cabinets. So we open up all of the cabinets to show, everything that's in here. So we've already done that here. So all of that gets documented. And then, of course, to remove all of this, clean it out, you want to track that labor because it's going to be above and beyond. You want to notate like if smoke detectors are here or missing, because that's supplies and stuff that have to be replaced. In this closet, you've got all of this stuff, so that gets documented. Doors, I'll show you how I document doors when we get back here. So then when I walk down the hallway, I just again call out what I see. So there's a hole there, there's a hole there. This is the door to the utility room, and it's off the hinge. So you see that right there, it's off the hinge, so you want to document that, but it also has a hole in it, so you want to document that. Now, for something like that right there, the apartment above had a leaking hot water heater. This apartment did not report that. It was a leak down here, but the apartment upstairs reported that their hot water heater, they didn't have hot water. So when we went and inspected, we found that their hot water heater was essentially bad, so we replaced it. But because this tenant was in the eviction process, we couldn't come down here to check to see if it had leaked. But you notice we put the pans down there, so that unit upstairs had been leaking for a while, and they never reported it because tenants don't want you in their apartment. As you can see the condition of this one, you can see why they didn't want us in here. But and another thing, you want to notate when you put in hot water heaters, so you have an idea of how long a hot water heater has been in there, so you can determine if the elements are gone bad in it or it's time to replace the whole heater. But okay, into the bathroom. So this panel here is an access panel that we had to repair a pipe up there to the toilet up above, and we just put an access panel there instead of putting more sheetrock in, because if it leaks again, it's easier to just go to the access panel and not keep cutting sheetrock and putting it in and out. But I would notate that this towel bar is down, but the actual bar is there. The toilet seat is broken. The paper towel holder is broken, missing. Light bulb, right? So I would look at this bathroom door and say it's good. There's no holes or any damage to it, but I would notate all of the stuff that they left in this shower and on the floor. Oh, they had a cat, so that's an additional fee, because not only did you have a dog unauthorized, you had a cat that was unauthorized. So then let's start with bedroom number 2. You can clearly see this door is off the hinge, but there's no damage to the door. There's no holes in it. So we would just notate that we'd have to re-hang this door and whatever the appropriate charge is for that. And then to come into this bedroom and get all of this trash out, all of that gets notated. The globe is missing off the ceiling fan. The blind is down. So all of that gets documented. And then into this closet, right? So I hit this switch. The light didn't come on, so it's probably a bad bulb up there, but I would still make sure I notate all of these clothes and stuff in here. Again, this closet door is okay, right? So I want to ensure that we document that, but all of this will get reported, and then a cost will be associated with it, and it will get sent to that tenant, and ultimately, I'm sure in this case, to the collection company. But coming into bedroom number 1, you got a hole in the door here, and then this room is full of stuff as well. And I'm not going to go through and move all of this stuff to see what other damage is there, like around those baseboards and stuff. But you've got a hole here that's bigger than fair wear and tear, right? So pinholes where someone hung something up, as long as they didn't use a drywall screw or something like that, is fair wear and tear, but anything above that is not. They didn't clean. As you can see, there's spider webs up. And then I was saying, I'm not going to move all of this stuff to look for additional damage. On my videos, I would just notate that you can see all of this stuff. So if there's any additional damage, then once we start moving this stuff or we start checking the plumbing and stuff, we find additional damage, then we will notate that on the record. But that's how I do my video walkthroughs. So hopefully you learned something, but it's hard for someone to argue with a video, and they know how they left the apartment, they know how they lived, but they will still argue they didn't leave the apartment in the condition that they said that you say they did, but the video doesn't lie. So again, hope you learned something today. Be well.